Hello viewers and welcome to the Nürburgring in the new GT long races. Now this race is about 30 minutes long, which is 3 laps of the Nürburgring. I have chosen the Bentley Continental GT3 car and I'm also going to choose to have hard tyres. Now as the race starts, we're starting in position 4, which is quite close up. I do believe a lot of people didn't get the option to qualify due to the practice session being so short. But as we set off, we get a great start off the line, pushing up the inside of the BMW, which is position 3, but ultimately I tuck in behind them because first corner is quite tight and usually a lot of, as you see, incidents happen. I'd rather be in the middle of the incidents rather than the outside and being pushed around of said incident. Coming away, we are still in position 4, tucking ourselves in right behind the Porsche. The BMW is to my right hand side, going to go up the inside here and send the Porsche off right in front of me. Yeah, that's kind of cruel move to make right there. That Porsche got absolutely destroyed. So bear that in mind. I'm going to try and keep away from the BMW that is to my right hand side right now, rather not be on the receiving end of that punishment. As you can see, a bit of contact has already been made again as we're taking this corner quite wide. Another little bit of contact and the BMW goes through. Coming out a little bit slow on the exit of that corner, the Ferrari is also looking around and I let that Ferrari pretty much take that position. Again, it's an endurance race, it's 30 minutes long, you're not going to win on the first lap. I'd rather let them battle themselves forward and ultimately send themselves off the track pretty much close enough like position 4, smile and you die. Rather let them take themselves out than be taken out by them forcing their way through. Sending it down here as we go, touch that curb on the right hand side. Got to be mindful of the curbs on this track, they do punish you, and it's quite hard for me to remember that because I'm used to riding a lot of curbs and one curb further down the line does absolutely destroy me, but that is a lesson I learnt the hard way. So knowing that the curbs absolutely ruin you on the track, it is what it is. But coming down here, we do keep up the position of 4 in front. We have only lost 1 up to now, can't really grumble at that. Again, we're on the harder tyres. I'm not too sure what everybody else is running. Some other people are running medium tyres, so they are generally going to be quicker than me. And I've got to be careful and mindful not to try and keep up with them per se if they're on the medium tyres, because I'm just going to put myself off into a wall because they've obviously got better grip than me. Anyway, coming through these S's as quick as you can, rubbing that last curb a little bit, backing off, letting smile and die in front take that position because they're going to come back over anyway, riding that curb way too much, upsetting the car, and then coming down the straight. You see, they had a much better exit than I did and pretty much leaving me standing on the straight. Luckily enough, position 6 is not gaining upon us right now, so we have a bit of breathing space as we're coming through here, letting off the throttle and plowing it back on flat out through this section here. Car goes off in front and thankfully the ghosting system's starting to work a little bit more because there's not enough room to get around people on this track. Flat out down here, then letting off touch of the brakes to bring the speed back down, weight onto the nose and coasting it round, not like the Ferrari did in front. Braking now, slowing down to 2nd gear, coasting it round this corner and accelerate full throttle out the other side. And be full throttle throughout this whole section. It's an absolutely brilliant section, as tight as you can, as narrow as it can be. Just go straight as you can, flat out down here. Do not let off until you get about here, braking a little bit. Try be mindful of that curb and then braking hard for this section here. A little bit more than what I did there, that was very close, down to 2nd gear. Round this section now, gone a little bit too quick, went up and over the curb, accelerated too early and ultimately give myself the old spinneroo. Right, that's why I say watch the curbs. Anyway, we've lost a few positions there. No harm, no foul. It could have been worse. We have lost a total of 3 to 4 positions. We're now in 8th place. Okay, right, we just have to make that time back up. You can see Phantom, who sent the Porsche flying off the track, has got position 1 with a 4-second penalty, so they are quite away in the distance, and I'm only 1.3 seconds away from Sucks Pablo up in front. Now, just trying to keep momentum going through this track in 4th gear, letting the car do the work. Try not to push it, just let it glide and flow through. Flat out down here, then hard on the brakes. Going to the right hand side, touching that curb a little bit too much, braking down to 2nd gear. and going up the inside here. Again, try not to ride the high curbs like I did. I didn't have nowhere to go really. I wasn't too sure where Pablo was going in front. Braking again, down to third gear, let the car coast round, accelerate out the other side, and then letting off and touch on the brakes here into third gear, round this corner and flat out again, giving Pablo a little bit of a nudge up in front as they were a bit unsteady, and trying to say, look mate, we can work together, I can push you along, we can try and catch up to the pack in front. Braking early, down to third gear, coasting around this section now, again staying away from the curbs that upset you, and then up the hill we go. Pablo goes on lawn mowing and ultimately slows the car down, and I make that move work. 4.1 seconds to catch up to Giga Goose 8576. We've already made a 0.1 of a second now. We're flat out as fast as you can up this hill, and whoop, oh, there's another ghosted car. Thank you for the ghosting system to work, because that could have ended terribly. And then letting off a little bit too early, letting off here and then coasting it round this corner. Plant the throttle back down again, build up your momentum, and then let off the throttle in this corner now. Let the car coast round, rub to the outer curb, and we'll be braking very hard as the curb starts on the left hand side for this section here. Down to second gear, let the car coast round, start accelerating out, and up the hill we go again. Now you'll be braking early again here and go through the corkscrew right now. There we are in second gear, rubbing through the screw, and then out the other side. Beautiful. Flat out again, full throttle, up the hill we go, a little bit more, and coasting it round again, just trying to stay away from those curbs that really do upset the car. Letting off the throttle here a little bit more than I just did, so I don't ride the curbs as much and lose as much speed, and then plant the throttle back down again. Coasting round this corner now in third gear, accelerate out the other side, and then flat out again. Now this section is quite twisty turny and you do carry a lot of speed. I should have braked a little bit more in this corner and I wouldn't have gone onto the lawn, but like I say, it is a very technical part of the track that you do need to carry a lot of your speed and momentum through most of these corners. Come round here in the fourth gear, let the car coast round, and then braking again for this section here, nice and tight onto the outer curb, just like that. Maybe a little bit too much for me going onto the grass, down to third gear, riding round this corner, and a full throttle again. You can see another car's gone off track up in front, thankfully, and there we go, they wasn't going to come back on. They spanned the tyres too much. That is lucky for that one, because if they did join back on the track, we would have had to slow down and then letting them have that position as we would have collided. Braking down in third gear as soon as the jump comes through, round the corner we go, and then full throttle through this section right now. Again, this section is very, very fast. You can take it pretty much flat out, providing you do angle the corners correctly and feather the throttle on and off, using the throttle to pretty much get the weight onto the front tyres. We'll be braking very hard as we enter this next corner, and then again away from the curb, and there we go, braking harder again down to third gear, coasting it round, and then onto the last corkscrew, coasting round through here, going a little bit too hot into that corner and accelerating out the other side. Looking at the tyre wear right now, we're pretty much, I'd say 40% through our tyres, give or take. I don't think it's worth going another round of them. I think I did the right choice by going hard tyres. As we come under the bridge, then there'll still be flat out, down the hill, up the other side, and then we're going to start letting off the throttle as we turn into the right hander, and then we're going to start braking as soon as we enter that left hand corner, down to second gear, coasting it round, and then we're going to go straight into the pits. We don't need fuel, we just need rubber. We are 25 seconds away from Phantom in position 1, 4 seconds away from Giga Goose that's behind. Oh, no, they've gone past us, they're not pitting this round. As we enter in the pits, I would like to take a moment to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good, Jeffrey Anderson, DMC Motorsport, and Phoenix Aster. Thank you very much, guys. Coming out of the pits, we have a fresh set of rubber on. Another car is overtaken. We're leaving the pits in position 10. Buck Yowl is 6 seconds away from us behind, and Shadow 43 Block is 7.4 seconds in front. As going through this tight section right now in first gear, out the other side, straight into second, a little bit of wheel spin, nothing but a bit of fun, and then sending it through the GP circuit of the Nürburgring. Braking hard down in third gear, coasting it around this corner, accelerate a little bit more, then braking hard down to second gear, and then accelerating out the other side, coming right down this hill as we go, keeping to your left, looking out for the 100-meter marker, and then hard on the brakes again, down to third gear, coasting it round into second, and then round the corner we go to the outer part of the track, accelerating a little bit of tail out. Tires are still pretty fresh on the car. Coming round here, letting off the throttle, touch on the brakes, get the nose onto the wheels, and then accelerate out the other side. Keep over to your right hand side as we're coming up the hill, looking out for the 100-meter marker, hard on the brakes, down to second gear, not going off the track like I just did there because I got distracted by a helicopter. Yeah, it was orange, I couldn't help it. Anyway, if you see the helicopter right now, how about hitting that like button for us and let me know that you find that my distractions are funny. We have lost a few attempts, but I can make that time back up, and bearing in mind I span on the last lap, if I don't have any shenanigans on this lap, I can make that time up quite easily. We are coming around the section now in third gear, accelerating out the other side, bring it back over to the right hand side, hard on the brakes, down to second gear, coasting it around, and we join the ring. Accelerating out of the corner into third gear, then back down into second, turning in nice and tight, see all the crowd waving at us, cheering us on, we can do it. Going farming a little bit there, down through the section now, dab with the brakes, rubbing that curb on the right hand side, getting as close as you can to it without hitting it. Flat out again and hard on the brakes down to third gear as we're going through this tight section now. Tyre in the road, so somebody's had some fun. Going accelerating out the other side, through the S's, rub that curb on the left hand side that is not there. And then if you do go a little bit wide, use the curb on the outer side to bring the car back towards the track as you are sideways a little bit. Flat out through this section now, trying to catch up to the cars in front. Some dude 9397 is 7.8 seconds ahead of me right now. I wonder if we can make that time back going through this section now. The tyres may start to be wearing. I wonder if they're onto minor wear right now. It would be quite interesting to know as we're flat out looking at the crowd to our right hand side. Everybody's cheering us on. There's a news van and away we go. Letting off the throttle here, dab with the brakes, coasting it round this corner, accelerating out the other side, then hard on the brakes again, down to second gear as we coast around this corner, accelerate out the other side, and down the hill we go. As we're going down this hill, you want to be flat out through this section right now, keeping as much into the middle of the track as you can and pretty much cutting through all these corners. Round this curb, again, flat out again. Letting off here, dab with the brakes, rub that curb on your left, hard on the brakes now into third gear, coasting it round, and then hard down to second gear as we go through this tight section now. Going a little bit too quick again, rubbing that curb, but luckily enough we don't spin on the exit of that corner right now. There we go, look, 7 seconds up on this lap already, so we made back the second half we lost, and then added another 7 seconds to our overall lap time. Braking down to third gear as we're coming around this set corner now, accelerate out the other side, trying to keep in the middle of the track as much as we can, try and be as wide as we can, as smooth as we can. Accelerate out, we are now 4.3 seconds away from Ace Squirrel 04. As we quickly gain time upon them up in front, we're now 1.9 seconds away from them. You can see we're catching right up now, getting a lot more speed through these corners than they are. We must have a much better exit on the track and they might be fighting quite a bit. As you can see, one's already in the dirt. There we go, going to make our move on our right hand side. Hopefully they don't cut us off. Brilliant move right there. Going to go to the left hand side of the Porsche. Porsche comes over, I've got nowhere to go. And I go into the back of them. They ultimately go to the right and surrender that position. Quite unsure where they was going, and they're probably very unsure where I was going. They saw me to the right, they moved to the left, and I go off in the grass by getting distracted by what I'm talking about. It easily... Oh, and I get a 0.3 second penalty. Thank you, Forza. Anyway, it's easily done because we're both reacting to what we see going on at that precise moment. So, luckily enough, we don't get a penalty for going into the back of them, and I also don't send them off track. Thankfully for that. We're now going to try and see if we can make a move. There we go, there's one move made. Sucks Pablo. We're going to try and make a move on them as they block me off on that exit of the corner. Come back over to the right hand side. They're clearly trying to not let me pass. Okay, nice playing. Braking hard into this corner for some reason. I end up going to the back of them. Luckily enough, I don't get a penalty for it. I guess their tyres are extremely worn, or they just wanted to brake test me. Either way, they hit me on the way through as I was passing them, and it ultimately pushed them off track. So I have no idea on what was going on there, but clearly wasn't happy about me coming through. We got the position though. We're in position 5, 14 seconds away, well 15 seconds away, sorry, from Shadez Block, who also has a 1.5 second penalty. It's going to be tough unless they've not pitted. Oh yeah, there we are. They have pitted. It does say on the board they've pitted. So they're going to be on the same amount of tyre wear than I am on. If not, they could also be on the medium tyres, which means they'll have better grip at this precise moment. Okay, it's going to be quite tough unless they mess up to bring back that time. But we're going to see if we can, whilst also trying to create a gap from the cars behind. Because the bigger gap I got from the cars behind as I enter the pits, the bigger gap I got when I leave the pits. And if some cars choose not to pit on this lap because they pitted on the lap before, I'm still going to have that area of gap away from them. There's a lot of gaps in that sentence. As we come out of the pits for our final lap and our final big send, position 4 is 16.5 seconds away. Position 6 is 16.6 seconds away. We have a stale area of 16 seconds between us from the front and from behind. Still only having a 0.3 second penalty, so can't grumble like that. You can see they are on the map up in front of me, but I don't know if I'll be able to catch them or not. They've also pitted just like I have, so we're going to be all at the same pace as everybody else really, unless they're on medium tyres for the final stint, which will then put them at an advantage for the first sector of the track, but not for the latter sectors of the track. Coming around here in second gear, the sun is setting. It is a beautiful evening in this game, and have made the Nürburgring look absolutely stunning. With the sun setting in the evening, it is just spot on. I can only say to Turn 10, thank you very much guys, you've really worked on this one. It looks absolutely incredible. Coming around here, braking down into third gear, coasting it round into second, accelerating out the other side, being more restrained in my manoeuvres, rather stay on the track and have a bit of time to play with than sending myself off into a wall and pretty much letting position 6 catch up to me. Coming around here, you can see position 4 is 18 seconds away from me now, so I've lost 2 seconds there, which is an absolute shame. I may climb that back up as we're going through the race, and they might have just had a little bit of section where they were a little bit quicker, but I have gained as well from the car behind me, with they are now 17 seconds away from me. Coming around here, sliding it out of the corner, back into second gear, turning in, and you see everybody in the stands waving and cheering for us as we're coming down this hill for our last lap. We're accelerating around this corner, dab of the brakes in fourth gear, rubbing that curve on the right side, accelerating out of the corner, flat out as much as you can, braking hard down to third gear into the section here, coasting it round the corner, accelerating out the other side, coming over the curves, trying to stay into the middle as much as you can. Use that curb on the left hand side to exit that corner and bounce on the curb on the right hand side to get the car back to being straight. Coasting it around the section now, and then a little bit of tail end happiness happened right there, but luckily enough we don't suffer from it, and then sending it right through the section right now. You see the sun is setting. It's absolutely looking gorgeous on this track. I cannot say any more than that because I don't know how to put it into words. It is incredible how good it looks. Coming through here flat out, seeing everybody to our right hand side. There's more stands, everybody's cheering us on. Going through here at 165 miles per hour, letting off on this corner, dab of the brakes into fifth gear, help the car rotate, accelerating out the other side and hard on the brakes down to second gear as we come around this corner now. It's very, very mindful of where your braking point is, else you will go straight into that gravel pit and it will suck you in and you'll be stuck there for ages. I'd rather brake early and suffer a few temps than brake too late and lose a few seconds. Coming through here again, flat out, letting off the throttle, going a bit brave through that section there, hard on the brakes into third gear, coasting it round down to second gear, and then taking it as tight as you can. Use that curb and go wide as I did, straight onto the lawn. But luckily enough, I don't get a penalty for that one. Coming out of that section right now, flat out again, keeping over to the right hand side of the track, looking out for our next braking point, which is now as a wall starts on the right hand side, and then braking hard again down to third gear as we're going around this section here, coming over to the right hand side, accelerating out of the corner. We're braking hard again down to third gear, nice and tight through this part now, and then flat out again, as coming down here. You see that position 6 is 13.7 seconds away right now. They have been clawing a little bit of time on us, so I do believe they may well be on medium tyres, or I'm just going a little bit slow through this section. As you can see that Shadow's block in position 4 is now 22 seconds away from me, so it could be, I mean, I'm still beating my best split up to now, but I do wonder if they're on medium tyres and pretty much gaining on me through this beginning section of the track, and when it comes to towards the end of the race I'll be able to then increase that gap again because I'll have the better overall tyre grip. Coming to our last big ascend of the race, we do have a 26.5 second gap away from position 4, but we also have gained back our time that we've lost of a 16.3 second ahead lead of position 6 right now. Still with the 0.3 second penalty, and you can see the sun is setting on the horizon. We're doing 170 almost to this latter part of the track. Under the bridge we go, flat out down the other side. There we go, we've hit 170, 171. And I'm going to keep flat out up the hill we go, and then letting off touch of the brakes to get the car a bit more settled in, and then hard on the brakes down to second gear as we go around these last 2 corners, trying to keep the car in a straight line. And as we're coming up towards the GP circuit, across the line we go. Position 5 has been won. Cannot grumble at that. Absolute smashing race, smashing track, and I cannot thank Forza enough for finally bringing in long races, because that has been an absolute blast overall. Let me know down in the comments below though what you think about the new long races, and if you think that we should have a little bit more practice time so we can get some qualifying laps in. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.